You may already know that I've been making some birdhouses, and you can see from these I've got some more in progress. Speaking of work in progress on birdhouses, that's a hole saw, and that's a hole saw, and that's a hole saw. Yes sir, she's 6 inches across. And we're going to use that. I'm going to make a 6-inch cavity in this birdhouse, purposely for an Eastern Bluebird. I haven't seen any Eastern Bluebirds, but maybe somebody else has them. Anyway, this thing's going to require some mean clamping. I gotta lock the table. She cuts. It only cuts the depth of that, or a little less, but it gives me a perfect profile to work with. So I put a lot of holes in her already, but it'd be a lot easier to bore this out by following that nice perfect line. And I happen to have another one here that needs the same treatment. So continuing with boring out the cavity in what's going to be an Eastern Bluebird cedar log birdhouse is no simple process. You can see that I've already got a bunch of other holes drilled in there, and I've worked it down with a combination of big hole saws like this to give me a start profile, and even using this massive Forstner bit, 4-inch Forstner bit. Right now I got about a 2 or 2 1/8 Forstner bit on there. I want to work this down a little more level on the inside, and then I'm going to give this big 4-inch lat another go in there and see see how much of it'll chew up. So the whole cavity is bored down about 4 3/4 inches, but I need to get it down into that center where it's around 6 1/4. That's what I want. What I like about this bit is that I can just hang on to this thing, and it drills, and it drills quick. So I've only got a 9-inch block. Got to be careful not to come up here too far. I don't want to come 6 1/4 throughout the whole thing. I actually like having a hole in the center, the very center, that's deeper than the rest, so that way when I put the roof vent, the ventilation for the heat vents in here, they will come through the side and go into the center of this. I call it a little chimney stack. I don't really need this whole cavity to be that deep, but I would like to get it to about 6 or at least 5 7/8. I want to be able to take the drill all the way down to the length of its travel. Yeah, so the bottom of that drill is right about 6 inches. So that's perfect. So that's what we're working with. See if the massive Forstner bit will chew its way through that. The paint you see me applying here, I use as a base coat, is actually an aircraft paint called Stitz Polytone. It's intended to be the finishing paint in an aircraft covering system for polyester fiber. The reason I'm using it here is because it's a very thin lacquer-based paint that goes right into the wood. And the second reason is this paint was actually purchased back in 2012, already well past its usable date as an aircraft coating paint. Well, I skipped over two steps here. One, I went around with the torch, and I slightly singed the wood here to accentuate the wood grain. And I started on painting the embossing. So this is a really dark blue I started, and now the highlight color I'm going to use is this gray. This one's taking a lot of paint because it's a deep cut, and it was actually a crack, and I filled it with glue and sawdust, so it's a pretty rough surface compared to the natural wood. It's taking a lot of paint. Need at least one more coat of blue on here, and then the whole birdhouse blue and the wood will get 3 coats of urethane. Progressing along with the first Eastern Bluebird birdhouse here. I've got all the finished coats of paint on the roof, on the base, and the embossed marks here are striped. I chose to go with the dark blue and gray. And just for reference, what I do with the lid is I paint just a very inner edge here, just to seal that little bit of wood. And I do also do the same thing on the bottom of this. I don't paint the whole bottom, just the outside edge, so that when these come together, there's a bit of a water seal there. Steel wool after each coat of urethane on the roof, because I want it to be as smooth as possible to really shed the water. The color changing again. So this is my second Eastern Bluebird house, and I decided to do something different here. I'm going around and around with the saw, taking little bits of wood off, and I want to give the whole roof a dome, like the top of a silo you'd see on a corn silo you see on a farm. Anyway, I'm about a quarter of the way through that. I think it looks pretty good. So what I want to do now is get the first coat of urethane on here, just on the lid. Stay away from the paint. That first coat will it'll really soak right into the wood. So these two pieces here represent the end of the Eastern Bluebird project. This is the first one I did, it's the whimsical style. My stepdaughter called it a hobbit house. It is very whimsical. This knothole presented itself as a natural entrance for the birdhouse, and it's kind of cool because it's off to the side, which makes it very whimsical. They're both unique pieces, as all of my birdhouses are. I call them functional art. I built both of these and all the birdhouses and bird feeders I'm about to show you. I built all of these to try to sell them. I enjoyed making the ones that I've made for family and friends, and I just thought that I would go ahead and make some more. And then I got the idea, well, maybe I can make some of these and sell them. So that's why I made these and the other pieces. I needed a variety of styles and colors to take to the market, and we'll see how it goes. But there's a lot of work. There's a lot of work goes in these. Each of these birdhouses is somewhere between 3 and 4 hours of work. So this is the collection, or the body of work, however you want to look at it. This This is one of the last ones I did, and I built this one specifically because I didn't have any with a green roof. This one is what I call the wedge, because it doesn't have the sloped, whimsical style roof. It basically has a straight two-cut roof with no additional shaping or carving. And this one is a similar style. And then this one was another whimsical that I basically did experimenting with colors. They're all unique. I mean, they're similar, but they're all unique. You know, you're not going to, no two pieces of wood are the same. But anyway, this is a little bit more than the culmination of the Eastern Bluebird project, but it put some perspective on what I've been doing and where I've been going. And thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.